Okay, so welcome everybody to another Twitter space by Cyberscope, where we'll be unlocking the secrets of Web3, this time with Cryptic Marketing Agency. So thank you so much for joining us today, Ace. It's a real pleasure having you here. How are you doing?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting us. It's a pleasure, and I'm doing quite well. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, thank you, thank you. So could you please, do a brief, like a short introduction about what you guys are doing?
Definitely, yeah. So basically, we are a marketing firm specialized in IDO marketing, pre-launch marketing. Most of the things we do are like based on the fundraising part before the token launches. Um, I think, or why we started this is basically because we saw a gap in the market for it, and there's a lot of like necessity for it. That's how I would say it. I've been part of multiple projects. I never owned one myself, but I saw the struggles that the team or the developers had, and starting a company like this, for example, was always like something that the market needed. And just as you guys are doing, cybersecurity, audit and KYCs, for example, or smart contracts are also very, very important because not all the teams that are working on a project are able to do everything themselves. They need to delegate or outsource a couple of things, and firms like ours and yours are very useful for that.
Mhm. For sure, 100%, really interesting, and like it's very important when I also first joined the space. I saw that the smartest thing you can do is basically just utilize yourself, right? Just like find the gap and fill it like you did, guys. So I'm very interested to hear about your story. Could you tell us a bit more about it? Like how did you come up? How did you come up with the idea? Like, what's your background? Why marketing?
Well, I think it started when I started with crypto itself. I think it was 2017. Like um, it was for Christmas, around Christmas when Bitcoin for the first time hit like 20K or 17K or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really sparked my interest in crypto. I started investing in the bigger market cap, the top 10, of course. And then in 2020, I was like very, very deep in the more like the meme coin market, the BSC gems or whatever you call it. And because a couple of friends of mine introduced a couple of projects to me, and I just was very interested in it. Of course, the risks are higher if you invest in like meme coins and those types of projects, but the potential rewards are, of course, a lot higher than with the bigger market caps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
for
started
sure.
investing myself, and um, what I found out was that I was like a very, very persuasive, and like I knew how to persuade people to invest, or like you call it shilling in crypto, of course, but I didn't know back then that was shilling meme coins or doing shilling projects I was investing in. Like for example, when I started investing in Cardano or VeChain or anything else, I basically introduced friends and family as well to like start investing. Of course, always do your own research, but I was always like a big advocate of um, any token that I invested in. So I kind of like marketed it as myself. I started shilling the projects or the things that I was interested in, um, and I think the marketing itself, I think it also comes from my background. I've studied business, and um, I have some marketing experience myself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Yeah, I think
basically
that.
why we started with this, because not necessarily the marketing, but I had seen a couple of projects that I knew, and they had really like issues with the fundraising. In the bull market, everyone can fill a pre-sale or a fair launch or any type of funding round. But when it comes down to the bear market, or when it's less attractive, people don't usually invest in like IDOs. So what I just mentioned before as well, the gap in the market. There's like not a lot of people that know how to market a pre-sale and how to like make sure you can raise the funds you're aiming for. So it's basically because I saw a gap in the market. I had some marketing experience, but most of the things that I have learned are because I just tried and started working on things that I believed in.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, the whole industries was very new back when you started, anyway. So there was very little information upon how to market a token, or what's the right strategy of getting the exposure like a token needs and stuff. So you started on your own, like shilling the tokens you invested in, and then kind of got the hang of it, and that's how it all started, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's like a cycle. When you start doing something and you like it and you see that it's rewarding, you will continue developing and continue learning and networking, and you will just keep on going.
Awesome stuff. So, what are some of the challenges you guys faced, like coming up?
Can I ask you a question first?
Oh yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
I know it's your AMA, but I'm just curious about how you guys started.
Well, I mean, Thanos will have to come up and talk a little bit about this.
I can see that he's in the AMA as well.
Yeah, he's in here. I'm inviting him to speak. Just give it a second.
So you weren't like the person that started it or was in the core team at the beginning, or were?
No, I'm personally doing business development here.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Thanos is able to come speak right now, because you might be working.
They had no issue. I was just curious. You can just answer me later on as well.
It's all good. Yeah, yeah.
But what
I'll
was your
go ahead and
question
message
again?
him
You had a
actually.
question
And
about the issues that we are facing sometimes, or right?
no, basically the question was, coming up, because you're a successful marketing agency when it comes to Web3. What are some of the challenges you guys faced coming up? As so, for example, assuming competition is a major one, right? Because perhaps not when you started, but assuming a new marketing agency is going to start today, they they have a lot of competition to face, right?
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's not necessarily the size or um, the quantity that is like dangerous for us. I mean, if you look at how we do our work, it's very, very different than most of these other marketing agencies. Um, I would say, as a marketing firm, of course, you need to position yourself professional and like good as well. So we try to differentiate from the rest of the market. Of course, we have some partners or competitors as well that are on the same level, but I would say there are not too many people like on the same level as us. There are a couple, of course, but
Oh,
those
Thanos,
people.
Thanos came up as a speaker. If
Okay,
you
great.
still want him to answer the question.
Yeah, great. But about the competition, you said that there are. It's quite easy to start a marketing agency. Basically, you have
Hey, Ace, are
almost
you with
zero.
us?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hi guys, can you
We
hear
might
me?
have some connection issues. Just give it a second, guys. We'll fix it.
Hi, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah,
Okay, so I have no idea what the connection issues are. My 5G is on as well.
Just
So
1 second, guys, while we're trying to figure out the issue we have.
okay, so regarding the answer on the competition, you mentioned that there are a lot of newbies or a lot of new entrants.
I mean, so it's actually me, Thanos. Thanos saying that.
I think it's you. But can you hear
yeah,
me?
yeah. Hey, yeah, go on. You were saying about competition?
Yeah. So basically, there are a lot of people that are starting in Web3 and want to start a marketing agency. I think the business model is very attractive, first of all. So it's basically low startup costs. You basically only need a website, and the services you offer are all like you don't have a lot of costs, or you can resell services of other people, but basically you have no costs. You don't have any products you're selling, basically. So that's one of the reasons I think the market is going to have a lot of new people that will start a marketing agency. Of course, if your name is already established and your brand as well, um, I think it's like a bit hard to compete. Um, so I don't think it's like a very, very big issue for us if there are a lot of new competitors. I think it's actually good because it's like lifting the space up as a whole. If there are more competitors, everyone needs to do better and improve and develop themselves. So um, if it's a challenge, I like to like accept it and keep on working harder,
Nice.
and learning more, of course.
Is it like
Like
a specific case that you have in mind where you were fighting a very much bigger competitor like David vs Goliath kind
Hey,
of
by the way, I'm
case?
back, guys. I'm sorry, I had some connection issues, man. Like, I couldn't hear you this whole time.
I hope it's resolved
Yeah,
now.
I think it's all good. I think it's
So
all good. I'm really sorry, man. You can go ahead and answer Thanos' question.
Yeah, so Thanos, can you maybe repeat your question?
yes.
Named a company, I think, but I couldn't understand which one.
Yeah, I was saying, do you have any case in mind when where you were fighting a competitor like a much larger scale, and it was something remarkable that how you managed to get a client over him, what kind of specific tricks you're using?
Yeah. Okay, so I understand your question. We try to position ourselves differently. That's one of the main things. For example, we have a competitor from the Asian market, but it's also a partner. We work with them together, but they are mostly focused on the Asian marketing side. So when a client is more interested in Western and European, UK, USA marketing, we know better about that market, of course. So that's one of the things we use to say to like make ourselves how do you say it, better or more appropriate for the firm or the company or project we're working for. And the other thing is, I think our team is more available, and like when we work with a project, when we incubate a project, we are like available 24/7 almost. We are almost part of the project ourselves. And I'm not sure how other marketing agencies incubate and how they take care of projects, but we really are very responsible, and we keep track of data. And besides, we are like very, very available. So if there's any question or if there's anything that the team needs, we will guide them, consult them. Um, I think also professionalism is one of our main or core competencies. But I would say in general, we don't really um, try to convince too much. Let's say if I charge or our team charges or has a proposal, for example, we are not open to like lower our price too much because that's the value we are providing, and we are quite confident in what we are doing for projects. So um, we are not really trying to convince anyone. If someone comes to us already, we know it's going to be like a sale in most cases.
Yeah, basically, you guys proved your worth already. Like, you're maintaining a standard at this point. Like, if someone cannot cope with your prices, then that's on him, I guess. So, um, I wanted to talk about a bit, credibility and trust, because as a marketing agency, I imagine, it's quite a challenge. I mean, yeah, quite a challenge to, like, gain trust and a credit and have a credit and develop a credible name within the industry. So how did you guys manage to like achieve this?
Oh, by the way, I had one question for you, Thanos. I'm not sure if you were available, but before
Yeah.
or like 5 minutes ago, I asked something about how you guys started. But let's just, I will answer this one first, and then you can go and
I
answer
thought
that
I thought
question
you
I had.
guys went over it while I was having the issues earlier.
No, no, no. We were waiting for you, and then he asked me a
All
question.
good.
Um, okay, so for credibility, I think just being honest, sticking to your word, Um, and of course, partnerships are very important. If you, for example, you guys are a very well-known security, I've all met Thanos and a couple of your team members, and I know that Cyberscope is a good name and Coinscope because you guys have a lot of partners. You guys yourself are you're also the people you work with all have like a good reputation in the crypto space, the Web3 space. So I think having a lot of partners is one of the main. It's one of the things that is very important. Are very important for your credibility. Word of mouth, of course, is very important. People that have positive words about you. So we really try to focus on customer satisfaction. Experience is very important. Even if something goes bad in a worst case scenario, we try to restore it and refund or something else, and just make sure that the customer is happy. That's the most important thing for a service. Someone that offers services, of course.
I hear you. Um, so assuming like you're starting from ground zero, right? What are some tips that you would give to somebody who found the gap like you in the industry and wants to like utilize themselves into growing a network, let's say?
I would say, um, let me think about it. I would say start working for someone else, like a more established name in the market. Like for example, if you are to work for us as salesperson or something else, you learn a lot from us as well. And then when you have made enough money, work, of course, you can start for yourself, um, or any other marketing firm, or even if it's a call channel or something else, an influencer. If you start working in this space, you will get the network yourself, and that's how you like can grow from your position.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Okay, makes sense for sure because right now in 2023, there's so much competition compared to like 2017. So I mean, I can only assume it's going to be really hard for somebody, without an established network, um,
Yeah.
to start something.
And,
So I wanted to move
and
on
something
and
else.
ask you about. So actually, should we let Thanos answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. And some
Yes, sir.
another tip I had
Okay,
is
so his question was, how did we actually start? What's our story?
Yeah. So I think that's like 2.5 years ago. That's when Coinscope started. Just like you, we saw a gap. We started into blockchain as traders. We weren't really that good with trading. So naturally, because we were engineers, we started engineering things. We built a website to help investors get some information, see some insights about their favorite projects, and the gap. We saw another gap. There is a gap in security. We're really good with security, so we were already auditing projects and contracts for friends and channels. So we became auditors. We also started a KYC service. So before we knew it, the business grew so big, we had to split it into CoinScope and Cyberscope. And as you said, partnerships are very important. And, having your partners recognize you and see that you are really good, even though you are only 2.5 years old, and you can compete with Hacken and Certic on the same level. It really means a lot for us. And yeah, we're proud for our community as well because the community is what led us into these decisions. CoinScope has its own token, so we get power from the users and investors when they ask for next things. We build the next, engineer the next feature. This is our story in short.
Thank you, Thanos. Thank you so much. Do you have any? Do you want to stand anywhere, Ace?
so you basically started as traders, and then you saw the gap in the market for security, right? Or
I think I might not be able to hear Ace again. I'm not sure. Thanos, can you hear
Yeah,
him?
yeah, I think it's you, Andreas. Um,
Oh, it's me again. Okay.
Yeah, so we started as traders. We were already working on had project as blockchain integration, some Web3. So we already had the background. We started with CoinScope. So CoinScope was just code listing and a few Web3 applications. And then we built the security part and hired cybersecurity experts. We grew a lot in ops and the sales team. We formed the partnerships, and now our latest success story, Cyberscan, that got integrated in CoinMarketCap. Pretty much how it happened.
Okay, interesting. Uh,
Yeah. I wanted to ask you a follow-up question regarding on what you said earlier. Do you have any recurring clients, like someone comes and you work with him, right? You help him raise. After your work is done with the client, do they ever come back, or are they like one-time thing?
Well, it depends. For example, we also do advisory, and it's like a longer term cooperation. And for fundraising, it's also like longer term. We build like a connection and like a relationship with the client. It's not only going to be raising the funds and then bye bye. It's going to be pre-launch, post-launch strategy, helping with the website, and like we try to be a one-stop shop solution. So basically, we try to help with everything that we can. Um, and if the customer is very satisfied, of course, we will try to continue the partnerships. But some projects, of course, are like more, or they don't have a very long life. How do you say it? Expectancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
if you look at meme coins, for example, or like the degenerate space, or how do you call it? The DeFi
Yeah,
space.
I call it
It's
shitcoin.
very yeah. Basically, so we also have done a couple or assisted a couple of like smaller projects, meme coins, of course, because the hype is there. I mean, we are not just trying to help the bigger established
It
projects.
really depends because it goes with the volume, right? Like, I mean, can you, I'm gonna bring Pep as an example, and I actually wanted to ask you something in relation to it, right? So I'm really curious to know how trends affect you guys. Like, so for example, like with the recent Pepe trend, um, do you observe like a noticeable increase in your sales or client requests, or how does it go? Like, because there's a lot of volume in meme tokens, that's for sure. I've seen so many utility tokens just going down and down and down because I don't know, people seem not to be that interested in utility. Instead, they choose to invest in meme coins.
Yeah, I mean most of the people in crypto are in it for the quick money, I think, and that's if that is your motivator, of course, you're going to seek for quick returns, quick gains. They are not here for the compounding interest and like a low ROI. They want to double their money or like make quick gains. And we have had or the trends like AI, metaverse, or NFTs, or for example, right now Pepe, um, are definitely something that gets us more requests. But I would personally say I'm not a very big fan of these projects. I do think they are good for adoption because more people get involved and hear about it, of course. Um, but investing in these projects is just not interesting for us. And when it comes down to incubating, we don't do many of these meme coins. We have done a couple in the past, but in the end, most of them don't turn out very well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a very big fan of it. We have done a couple, and we do take them, but of course we screen the project first, and we make sure they have like the badges and an audit or KYC, of course. Um, but there is a possibility for taking or working with these projects, but in most occasions it's for promotions only, not just not the incubation itself.
Nice.
I mean, for promotions we do. It's like easier to get a promotion with us, but incubation is a longer term process. And we do like to work with more established and serious projects or
Makes
firms.
complete sense because you guys actually like put your name on it. when you incubate something, right? So you want to make sure it's 100% legit and like it's adding value to the space, because that's what we that's we that's what we ultimately want from projects, because adding value to the space and adding value to the overall ecosystem is what's going to bring us closer to mass adoption. Um, I want I
Exactly.
wanted to stand on what you said about tokens like Pepe, and especially Pepe because it was huge. Like we haven't seen another Pepe in a long time, and it's a great opportunity for people to get into it. But it's really bad when it comes to sustainability, because it's just it kind of gives them PTSD, right? Because imagine you're a new investor and
Okay, maybe Andreas has a connection issue again. Let's move to the next question. Do you work the projects that you work with? Do you have any security requirements? Like, do you prefer to work with KYC or docs projects, or does it not matter to you?
Definitely KYC and audit is like the minimum. That's the standard for us. And in most cases, we also like to be or have the owners privately doxed to us. So just in a worst case scenario, and if you're not going to do anything bad, of course, why wouldn't you dox yourself or show yourself? I mean, it's your project; you can be proud of it, right? I mean, some people just don't like to dox, but in most cases, we do like a video chat or how do you call it, meeting with video and talk with the persons behind it. But for KYC and audit, that's like the minimum. But in some cases, we also like work with docs teams. For example, right now we are working with Tectum, Paribus, and a couple of other projects that are like have like teams of more than 10 people, and the whole team is docs. They have their LinkedIn and social media on the website, and in most cases, these are like the more um, enjoyable partners to work with or incubate because they are like more serious as well. If you have a pink sale, pre-sale, for example, of a meme coin, these projects are like very, they don't take this in most cases. And the people behind it are just less serious, less professional. But when it is a project that has raised $2 million, for example, and has a team of 10 people, it will be a lot easier for us to work with them and a lot more enjoyable. So for the standards, we have like the KYC and audit, of course. We have partners for that, like you guys, of course. But we like to work with docs people in most cases, yes.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you guys work with a project, so it's your reputational cost after all if there's shady people behind the project. So yeah, that's good. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I think negative experience is part of the cycle of crypto investors. And if you are a trader, it's even worse. But if you're investing in crypto, it's a very volatile asset. Um, and you will keep your eyes on it like 24/7. So even if you invest in the top market caps and it's the money that you are not able to lose, it's going to be very stressful for you. I think it's like a lack of financial literacy if you are stressing a lot about your investments and